Imagine waking up one morning to discover your country is at war. No vote in Congress, no national debate, no clear declaration, just missiles. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched a massive series of strikes against Iran. Within hours, the Middle East was on fire. But here's the question few people are asking: was this war even legal? Tonight, on Coffee Talk, we're going to unpack the story behind the Trump-Israel war with Iran and how it started, why critics say it breaks international law, and what it could mean for the future of global order. Late February 2026, US and Israeli forces carried out coordinated strikes targeting Iranian military infrastructure, missile systems, and nuclear facilities. Thousands of targets were reportedly hit during the opening phase of the campaign. Within days, the conflict expanded. Iran launched retaliatory missile attacks across the region. Oil routes were disrupted, military bases were struck, and the possibility of a wider Middle East war suddenly became real. Some analysts described it as the most dangerous escalation in the region in decades. But the bigger controversy wasn't just the war itself, it was how the war began. Under the US Constitution, Congress, not the President, has the power to declare war. Yet critics say Congress was never asked to authorize this conflict. Legal experts argue the strikes may violate both the War Powers Resolution and international law unless the US was acting in self-defense against an imminent attack. But according to several analysts, there was no clear evidence of an imminent Iranian strike against the United States. International law also raises another issue. The United Nations Charter generally prohibits countries from attacking another state unless they are acting in self-defense, or the UN Security Council authorizes the use of force. Critics argue neither condition applied in this case, which raises a disturbing possibility. This could be considered a preventive war, a war launched to eliminate a potential future threat. And preventive wars are among the most controversial actions in international politics. Israel has long viewed Iran as its most dangerous adversary. Israeli leaders argue that Iran's nuclear program and missile capabilities pose an existential threat. From Israel's perspective, striking Iran's infrastructure is a matter of survival. But some analysts say the United States may have been pulled into a conflict that was already planned. Reports suggest Israeli officials had been preparing a strike against Iran for months, with coordination from Washington. That raises an uncomfortable question for Americans. Did the United States enter this war to defend itself or to support an ally's strategic objective? Some critics say this war didn't begin because diplomacy failed. It began while diplomacy was still happening. Negotiations over Iran's nuclear program had reportedly made progress before the attacks began. If true, that would mean military action replaced diplomacy at a crucial moment. That's why several international leaders have warned that the conflict risks undermining global rules that were created after World War II. Those rules were simple. Countries cannot start wars whenever they feel threatened, because once that principle disappears, every nation might claim the right to strike first. The international response has been deeply divided. Some governments quietly support the campaign. Others warn it could destabilize the entire global order. Even some religious leaders and political figures have questioned the morality of the war, arguing that preventive military action lacks legitimate justification. Meanwhile, the war's economic effects are already spreading. Energy markets have been shaken, global shipping routes face disruption, and the risk of escalation remains dangerously high. The real issue may not just be this war, it may be the precedent it sets. If powerful nations can attack others without international authorization, then the entire system of global law begins to collapse. Today, it's Iran. Tomorrow, it could be anyone. This is why critics say the real battle here isn't just military. It's about the future of international order itself. History is full of wars that began with promises of quick victory. But wars have a way of rewriting those promises. And the truth is, no one knows where this conflict ends. Will it remain a regional war? Will it spiral into something bigger? Or will it reshape global politics for decades? What we do know is this: wars started without debate rarely end the way their architects expect, and the world is now watching what happens next.